about the lame games Haley wants to play.
Eat ass.
Okay.
Oh my. Anyway, what is up, cool kids of the interwebs? It's your girl Haley back at it again with another episode of your favorite podcast, The Pre-Review Crew, for October and November of 2025. Before we get into the games, let's see who we are going to be chatting with. As always, we have Brennan and we have Mike.
So,
God damn it. I'm going to regret this whole episode. Anyway, we are going to kick it over to October and talk about the games that we previewed last month. So we had a pretty strong month. We're starting off with Ghosts of, is it Yotai or Yotai? I always say Yotai.
Yotai.
Yotai, okay. It is an action and adventure RPG. It's a single player game developed by Sucker Punch Productions and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. Came out on PS5 on October 2nd with a 87 top critic average and 93% of critics recommending.
So I first off, hello. The crickets, that was me. I did the cricket. I wanted to play this, like I really wanted to break down and get this, but I never finished Ghost of Tsushima, and I feel like I would be a huge poser if I did 90% through playthroughs of Ghost of Tsushima, never finished it, and then just did the same with Yotai. That being said, I was talking to my friend this weekend who he had gotten it. He played it. He played Tsushima 2 and he really liked it. And for better or worse, it just seems like from when I gathered from him and what I'm getting from a lot of these reviews, and when the game had come out, I was watching videos and whatnot for it. A lot of it just seems like if you like Tsushima, you will like Ghosts of Yotai. You don't have to play Tsushima to play Yotai, but it's essentially just more of what you like, but just slightly tweaked. Like it doesn't revolutionize anything. It'd be like it's a sequel, but it's not like they tried to reinvent the wheel, because I feel like Sucker Punch kind of nailed what they were going for with Tsushima, and it was like, what else can you really change? And again, this is me, because this is coming from me who hasn't played it, so I can't speak from personal experience, but just again from what I was talking to my friend about. He made it just sound like it was just more Ghost of Tsushima, but just a different story, which is totally cool. There are a couple of tiny little changes that I like. Like in Tsushima, there were 4 different stances with your katana that you could use, each going up against a different weapon class. I can't tell you exactly which ones go where, but I think it was like there's like water, earth, wind, something else, whatever. They each corresponded to a different weapon of the enemy type. And now in Yotai, Atsu is the main character. She has 4 different sets of weapons. I think it's like, I know it's katana, and then it's dual katanas, and then it's a spear, and I forget the last one. But essentially, it's like the same stance system, right? It just looks a little different. To me, that's what most of Yotai is. It's like it's the same, it's cool, it works, it's just a little different. But you know what you're getting yourself into, which again is completely fine. I think that if you like Tsushima, you'd probably like this. Or if you wanted to get into Tsushima and it's too late, church play this instead, and it's probably gonna be just fine.
Yeah, I think it's a indirect sequel. It has nothing to do with Tsushima.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I've also had friends who got this, and that's what they were telling me. Yeah, if you like Ghost of Tsushima, you're gonna like this game. And from I'm reading from reviews, some of the problems people had were the problems from Ghost of Tsushima. So you can tell Sucker Punch kind of was like, "Oh, we did good the first time. Let's just do that again." Like you said, there's small changes, but at the same time, it just feels like they were like, "Well, it worked the first time. If it ain't broke, don't fix it." And that's kind of what I'm seeing from my friends and from the reviews that I'm looking at right now.
I mean, in the defense, I would say, when is that a bad thing? Like, You take a look at Assassin's Creed, for example. Look how frequently they change things up in between each game. Like, if it's just minor issues that people have issues with, like, yes, of course they should fix them, but if they're not too crazy, like, what's the point of fixing them if that might break something else?
As long as you don't do what Call of Duty did, where it's the same game for like 4 years.
I mean, that makes sense. But also, like, how many more Ghost games are we expecting to get? Like, I think the whole different weapon system for the different stances shows the evolution between the years of each game, and I think that's really, really neat. But where do they go from here?
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you're already at the top. But again, like, what's the next year that they're going to go to, and how are they then going to make it different? So I'm hoping that they sort of leave it where it is and make something new.
Mm-hmm.
I agree, and honestly, looking at the contenders for October, the other two, there seems to be. It's kind of funny actually. Now that I'm looking at it, the more I look at it, it's interesting. We picked, not to spoil anything. Not that it's a spoiler. Are you kidding me? We talked about these last month. We picked Ghost of Yotai, Pokemon Legends, ZA. I'm not gonna call it Z to A. That's stupid. It's called Pokemon ZA. All right, that's fucking hilarious. And then we also picked the Outer Worlds 2. Each one of these is an indirect sequel to a game that had already come out that kind of like changed a lot the first time, right? You know, the first one was like, oh, okay, cool, they did something new. And then now here's a sequel that like kind of changed stuff, but it's like kind of the same, but kind of not really, but mostly the same. So I feel like we're going to have this same talk at least 2 more times. Just in different, like, again, we're going to have a sequel to this talk 2 more times. How funny is that? Is it just me?
You just made me
Now
realize
that,
that that's what we're
yeah,
about to do.
yeah, like now that you said something, I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, because, okay, we'll move on. Haley, go to the next game. Let's see what we can talk about for the next game.
The next game on the list is Pokemon Legends Z to A.
No. Say it right.
ZA.
There you go.
It's an action-adventure single-player RPG developed by Game Freak and published by Nintendo. Came out on the Switch and the Switch 2 on October 16th. It has an 83 top critic average, with 82% of critics recommending. Now, before we start off, somebody explain to me why it's called ZA.
That's a great question. Mike, do you know? Because I like do, but I don't know well enough to explain it.
So one of the main points of the story is there's like a tournament going on, and the ranking system, you start at Z and you climb to A. So it's because the way you actually pronounce it is Pokemon Legends Z to A.
Was there a
That's dumb.
Pokemon Legends A to Z?
No.
I don't know why they did Z to A, but yeah, that's the whole point. Is you're climbing ranks. You start at Z and you go to A.
Now, what is this like a sequel to?
Pokemon Legends Arceus. I don't know how to say that Pokemon's name. Yeah.
So like, in terms of, sorry, there you go.
I was supposed to say I switch it up every time I say it. Like,
I still, after like all the reviews and stuff, you're right. I still don't know how to pronounce it.
yeah.
But in terms of like the 3 sequels that we're going to talk about this month, Pokemon Legends ZA is probably the least similar to its sequel. I feel like Arceus was like its own, like they're like it's part of the same like line of games, but it's not like a sequel as Ghosts of Yotai or Outer Worlds 2 is to the originals. You know what I mean? Like because Legends Arceus it had like the semi-open zones where the focus was going around capturing the Pokemon. in like a prehistoric, not prehistoric, but like a sort of more, yeah, it's kind of prehistoric, not really, I can't think of the word, but
More of an
it
ancient
wasn't,
form. Yeah.
yes, wasn't modern times, right? Whereas Za it's condensed to Lumos City, and it's very much focused more on the battling, especially because they completely changed the battling system, which I personally, I mean, not having played it, but watching it, I'm not a fan. I don't really. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. There's nothing about this game that intrigues me at all. This is probably the most turned off I think I've ever been by a Pokemon game in my entire life. I have zero desire to play this.
You're not the only one I've heard say that. Like my brother, he's a big Pokemon fan. Um, he was also like, "Bro, if I pick this up, it's because all my friends are picking it up and we can play together." He was like, "Otherwise, the story, the catching, everything, I have no." He's like, "I have no desire to play. I just want to play with people." Like,
I mean, fair. I enjoyed Arceus, whatever.
yeah.
I enjoyed the last one, the first Pokemon Legends. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Way more than I thought I was going to. And then this is like the complete opposite of the pendulum. That is swung in the other direction. I want to have nothing to do with this. And I mean, according to the reviews, a lot of people are saying, a lot of people are praising it for its changes, for the innovation, which again, great. I'm never going to knock that, right? I think it's and them to have this space, the legend space, to make these kind of innovative changes that don't impact the mainline games, perfect, fine, whatever, go for it. But I think for me personally, this doesn't really do much. And like again, it's I don't really know what exactly does it do. I don't think it necessarily does anything as a sequel as it does a next like a side step in the same like name. I think just because it has legends in this name doesn't necessarily make it a quote sequel to Arceus. I think I'm getting so hung up on the whole sequel idea and rather than judging the game on its own merit. But even on its own merit, I don't really care about the whole being stuck to one city thing. There's just nothing appealing about that to me. And again, the focus of the catching, I mean, I know that there is catching, but I keep hearing that it's like dumbed down, not dumbed down, but it's not quite as involved as Arceus, which got kind of tedious at points. But like, I felt like it kept me engaged. This just, I don't know. I was watching videos for it, and I was just getting bored watching the videos, man.
Yeah, because to be honest, I
Oh,
was
go
gonna
ahead.
say to be honest, I was thinking of getting it, but honestly, like it was the Pokemon name that was halfway selling it to me. I applaud that they're trying new things. I think like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, yes, they did the open world, but they still kind of played safe with the way they did battles and stuff. It was you can still tell it's a Pokemon game. So I applaud Z to A. While it's not the greatest Pokemon game ever, at least they tried something new, and that's what I want to see with Pokemon. I know there have been leaks of the next generation of Pokemon. I hope they take notes from this and they say, okay, how can we change up the formula, and what can we learn from Z to A to learn? Okay, this didn't work. How about we try this though?
No, yeah, I agree. I mean, again, I'm on in the same boat. You can make your innovations, but
Yeah. But change isn't always a good thing.
yeah, I mean, it's just, I mean, obviously, like, I do think it has some merit because, like, some people do enjoy it, right?
Hmm.
But, because, some people are giving it, 9s out of 10s and stuff. That's great. But I feel like a majority of these people are just giving it, like, 7s, 8s, which, again, is not a bad score. I think that's something else that we've kind of fallen into. This is a completely different topic in terms of reviews, but I feel like a lot of people look at a 7 and go, "Oh, the game's over. It's dead on arrival." But it's like it's really not. And I just think this is probably just very okay. I don't think that I would enjoy it. I think it's really funny. Hold on, I'm reading this one. I'm really hold on. Not to make fun of anybody, but the reviewer for Play Watch Read, they give it a 5.5 out of 10, and they keep calling it Pokemon A to Z. I think it's really funny because it's Z to A. It's ZA. It's not as. I don't know. That has nothing to do with anything. I just thought it was really funny. Wow, none of these people, even like the edgy in Italy, they forgot the dash in between ZA, so it really is just Pokemon Legends ZA. This is kind of funny. Some people just got the name wrong. Yeah. Anyway,
I have nothing to say about this. It's Pokemon. I have no interest in Pokemon.
Haley,
yeah,
the whole world wants to hear your opinion on Pokemon.
They need to let Pow World create their damn game.
I actually didn't like Power World.
what?
Please explain. You're on trial.
I don't know. It felt like a dumbed down Pokemon with building. Like, I don't like games where you build bases like that. So, no, okay, that's a lie because I do like life simulators. I didn't like the building system for Power World. People are probably going to be angry with me saying that because I know a lot of people like the fact that you're able to build in Power World. I didn't.
See, I like the thing that attracted me was the building aspect of Power World
Yeah.
because I like building more than I like leveling up my like pets or whatever, my pals. But I feel like it depends on how much you want to grind because like Emily, I had a multiplayer server with Emily, Charlie, and me, and Charlie would just like be grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding to like the point he had everything unlocked, and because he had everything unlocked we didn't have to need to unlock anything. So I feel like if you pace yourself it's a good game. If you like building, if you don't like crafting, then of course you're not going to like it.
Yeah. I'm like Charlie. I love collecting. I love grinding. One of the things I love doing in Pokemon is just running around and catching, Pokemon that only appear during a certain time of the day, or I like actually doing that. And so to me, Power World didn't feel as satisfying as Pokemon. Uh, It was okay. I mean, if you want something different, I would say play Power World, but yeah, I prefer Pokemon. Uh, I'm a Nintendo, what do you call it? Fanboy. So
Of course you are. But anyway, let's kick it over to the last game for October. This is The Outer Worlds 2. It's a single-player action RPG developed by oh my god, developed by Obsidian Entertainment and published by Xbox Game Studio. Came out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on the 29th. It has a 83 top critic average with 91% of critics recommending.
Okay, so I'm gonna have the same conversation again. I really wanted to like this one. Okay? I really, really enjoy Obsidian's games for the most part. Okay? Knights of the Old Republic 2, one of the greatest games of all time. Okay? Totally took Knights of the Old Republic 1 and flipped it on its head. Amazing.
agreed.
Fallout New Vegas. It took Bethesda's, again, also for context, the guys who made Fallout, Black Isle Studios, most of them, I can't tell you how many of them, but a good majority of them ended up back at Obsidian Entertainment. So the guys who originally made Fallout, some of them also worked on Fallout New Vegas. So they took the Fallout 3's engine that Oblivion, Jesus Christ, Bethesda, they made that and made it 1,000 times better. Okay, Fallout New Vegas is one of the greatest games of all time, best Fallout game, uncontested. Uncontested? I don't know how to pronounce that word. Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity, I feel like you could sit down and argue that not only was that one of the first like Kickstarter games where Obsidian was like, we don't want a major publisher, we're gonna go and get it crowdsourced by the community. That kind of kicked off it was. I can't say it's the only one, but it definitely helped pioneer the whole kickstarting a video game thing. Not only that, it definitely reintroduced the CRPG into the modern era. Okay, again, looking back at Fallout, the games like Fallout and Baldur's Gate, back in the day, the CRPG was king. Neverwinter Nights. What's the one? I can't think of the name. The really weird one that I can't remember. That's gonna kill me. I'm gonna look at that later. All of this to say, what was that?
I said I can't remember either.
I know, but like if we saw it, we would know it. You know.
Yeah.
All of this to say that I love Obsidian games. Okay, they're amazing. And when Outer Worlds 1 came out, I was hoping that it was going to be New Vegas in space. That was kind of how they marketed it too. I don't think that they did that as much this time. I think that they learned their lesson from for Outer Worlds 2. But I was always very skeptical. I think we spoke about this last month. Is that I was skeptical to see how much would actually be changed, or if it was just going to kind of like be slightly better than Outer Worlds 1. And that seems to be the case here. Again, I think my perception of this is oddly different between, Ghost of Tsushima, which I really like the original, and then there's Ghost of Yotai. It's like, okay, there's just more of the same, totally fine, that's cool to me. Whereas, Outer Worlds 1, I was like, this is kind of mediocre, it's whatever. Outer Worlds 2, a lot of these reviews kind of, they say, it, quote from VGC, as a sequel, The Outer Worlds 2 doesn't strive to reinvent its past foundation and does little to stand out in the RPG genre. From the Games Machine, The Outer Worlds 2 is exactly what you'd expect from an Obsidian, if not at its prime, at least very close. So it's like, so not Knights of the Old Republic, not Pillars of Eternity, not Fallout New Vegas. The sixth axis, excuse me. The Outer Worlds 2 is thoroughly an enjoyable game, but as sequels go, it's largely more of the same. So, all of this to say, I think that they've made, and at least in the context of Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Fallout New Vegas, even though that they're not one-to-one sequels, like direct sequels. I mean, Knights of the Old Republic 2 kind of was, but whatever. They've reinvented themselves on the backs of other companies, at least. But with the Outer Worlds, and even arguably something like Pillars of Eternity 2, which was, good, but I don't think Pillars of Eternity 2 was as good as the first one. I think that Obsidian kind of has a difficult time making the thing that they've made, but better. You know what I mean? And I think that that's just kind of a difficult thing for most studios to do, because like Mike said too, is that sometimes I feel like they play it safe. The developers, if they know that they struck gold and they know that they have to hit a sequel, they'll play it safe and not try to innovate on anything. And then, you have the other kind of atmosphere where Pokemon is like, all right, let's just fucking, let's just make it a real-time strategy system for battling. It's like, what? Okay, sure. I think that how do we feel about sequels that just kind of are more of the same? You know what I mean? And again, I feel like in some cases it's good if you like the first one, and it's just really shitty if you don't like the first one. So, but how do we feel about that as a whole? Like, in terms of the industry, being like a safe bet, how do we feel about sequels that are largely the same thing?
It depends to me. Like, if, part 1 was good, part 2 is more part 1, I'm fine with that. But then if part 3 and 4 are just like part 1, then, it becomes a, I'm gonna try it. What are the words I'm looking for? Then it's like, yes, it's innovative. Like Assassin's Creed. We talked about Assassin's Creed earlier. 1 and 2 were great games. They were similar to each other, and I liked that, because I beat Assassin's Creed 1, and I was like, oh, cool, Assassin's Creed 2, that's more Assassin's Creed. And then, was it the Ezio? Was that the trilogy?
Yes.
The Ezio trilogy hit. by the time I was finished with that, I was like, I don't want to play any more Assassin's Creed because it just feels like the same thing over and over and over again. I have not played Assassin's Creed. Oh no, I played what was the one with the twins?
Oh,
Syndicate. Wait.
Yeah.
Syndicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played Syndicate just because. Never mind. But yeah, I think sometimes there's need for change, and sometimes it's okay with doing the same thing again. Ghost of Yotai. It was okay for them to do a very similar game. When Ghost of Yotai 3 comes out, like I know it's gonna come out. Ghost of Yotai is doing too well, so the next Ghost game is coming out. When that game comes out, then I'm gonna probably start expecting a little bit different.
I don't mind them doing like more of the same as long as they still like make some sort of change. Like as long as those changes are for the better and not for the worse, I'm perfectly fine with change. But if you're going to jump from like Assassin's Creed Syndicate to whatever the Egypt one is, you're changing everything. And that's scary. So I like my change in like small increments, but I don't want more of the same. If you're making a sequel, I better see changes in there because you're not feeding me what you fed me in 2024, in 2026, in 2027, like whatever year that next game comes out, there better be differences.
Okay.
Fair. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I agree to a point, I guess. There's just I feel like it's really easy for me to say something like, "Oh, just don't make a sequel. Just make something else." Like, obviously, that's not the wisest business decision. If you strike gold, you're gonna strike at the same spot again. But I just feel like eventually we're all going to get sequel fatigue, and this isn't just related. This is like industry wide. This is a problem that we've been staring at for a long time, and it's not just exactly in the video games too. I think it's just like it's a Hollywood problem too. Sequels. Like, why did Matrix 4 need to exist? Like, why? Why do we need 8,000 Assassin's Creed games? Like, obviously now I know that they've tried to change it up a bit, and there's like a different through line with Assassin's Creed, but Call of Duty. Why are there 8,000 Call of Duty games? Why can't we come up with like new stuff? Obviously, I know that it's difficult to do that. It's not the easiest thing to just be like, oh, just come up with something original, idiot. But I don't know, how many times can we just keep rehashing the same thing over and over? How many, if we were to make Breath of the Wild 3, would people even want that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Like, at what point do you keep getting fed the same, quote, sequel and expect anything to change instead of just trying to like make something new, right? Like there seems to be that cutoff line of like, okay, yeah, people are on board with Tears of the Kingdom, but then if what if Breath of the Wild 3, whatever that is, came out and people didn't like it? It's like, where is that line that we skirt where sequels are just it's more of the same, we don't need it. I just think it's really interesting that like sometimes we can get more of the same and think that it's great, and then other times we get more of the same and go, whatever. Obviously, like Mike, we all agreed it's dependent on whatever came before, but I don't know. I'm looking at this idea of sequels. Like, what exactly do you want from a sequel? What do we think makes a sequel better? What are some things that we want innovated the second time that we didn't want the first? There's just so many. I don't know why I'm harping on the whole sequel thing a lot, but there seems to be a theme here, and I want to know. I'm gonna X-Files this shit,
But I
Except
think the argument is valid. Like, everybody wants something different, and at the end of the day, it's like you want to make the consumers happy, but you also want to make sure that the investors are happy and that the people who are making the game happy. And if those things don't all line up, like, somebody's just going to be left unhappy.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, it's like, who who's your target audience, and how much money do you have to throw at them?
um, Brendan's gonna do his research next episode. We will publish whatever his findings are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's all going to be my own experience and thoughts. I'm not going to peer review any of it.
Those are straight facts right there.
It's all, I'm not even going to go for facts. It's straight up just my feelings.
That's what I'm
Because we
saying. Your
know that's how
facts,
science works.
your feelings are facts. Hmm.
They always have been, yes.
Exactly. He's the only one that matters.
Because we all know that's how science works.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. None of your opinions matter. Sorry, guys. I hate to break it to you. I didn't mean to tell you like this, but it's true. That's awful.
Anyway.
Let's talk about more sequels.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I was gonna say. It's like, let's keep this going.
Next we're gonna talk about Moonlighters 2, The Endless Vault. Jesus Lord. It's a roguelike RPG action adventure game. Its developer is Digital Sun and published by 11-Bit Studio, coming out on PC and Xbox Series S and X on the 19th of November.
Dude, I can't wait for this shit. It's gonna be so good. Oh my god. I love the first game. I can't wait for the sequel.
I saw we were doing this game. I had never heard of it before. I was like, okay, let me watch the trailer. I watched the trailer. It was like, yeah, Brandon picked this. Like, I know this is Brandon's game.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So I did really, really enjoy the first one. I think I played the first one on the Switch. I think I played the DLC, but I don't think I finished the DLC. But I definitely finished like the first main game. It's really simple. It's a dungeon crawler or like during the night it's a dungeon crawler and you get all this loot and treasures and stuff. And then by day it's a shop simulator. And it's one of those things where it's like it's very split. It's 50-50 in terms of like the systems and how the game is designed. Like there's not really it's not more of a shop simulator than it is a dungeon crawler, and it's not more of a dungeon crawler than it is vice versa. So it's like, you know, both, nothing is like super complex, but there's enough depth in both sides of the game that it just makes it satisfying enough. But again, this is where I have to be like, I really like the first one. But part of me is like, I don't really know why is my air fryer going off? Maybe it's finally my time to go. Thank God.
Oh,
It's
God.
the nugs, man. The nugs.
It's the siren's call. Jesus. Finally. Wow, this is really dark. I'm sorry. I don't know what more they could do for this. Like again, maybe I'm just in a mood today, but like I don't really know what more you can sequelize on this system. Right? Like obviously it looks a little different. They went for a more 3D art style. Cool. Great. But what more can you fucking do here? You're gonna go through different dungeons during the night, and you're gonna sell the same shit during the day. Again, this is not me knocking the game. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like, oh, this game's gonna suck, but no, it's probably gonna be great. I'm just stuck on this whole sequel thing. I don't know why, but do I think it's gonna be good? Yes. Do I have to wonder why they needed to make another one? Also, yeah, maybe they could have done something else. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm sounding like an asshole. And I don't mean to sound like that. Again, this is, if it's anything like the first game, it's probably going to be really good. but like I don't even know what is the endless vault. I mean, I know. I don't even know. I have no idea. I'm just watching this trailer over and over. To be honest with you, I don't even really know what's changed. I've just watched the trailer, which didn't really explain anything. So I could look like a massive idiot right now.
On the Steam page, and it's like, oh, what fans of Moonlighter would like, what fans of our action RPGs will like, what fans of new genre would like, and it does say some of the stuff. It's a new town, new shops and biomes, and new treasures, and then like you said, new 3D visual style.
Okay, so all of that was it was like in the first one. You
Yeah.
know, there's like a town, and then there were different biomes, and then there were treasure, and that was that was it. So it's probably gonna be good. It's probably gonna be good. Like I'm not taking anything away from anybody, and I really like how I really like how all of these comments echo that same sentiment of can't wait. The first one was so good. Nice. The adventures continue. My two of my favorite games are getting blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's just like a lot of the same. Oh, yeah, this one guy saying it's sad that it's not coming to Switch. Yeah, it is kind of interesting. I wonder why it's not. Because when Haley said it was just Xbox and PC, I was like, that's kind of weird. But whatever. Um,
I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
it could be one of those things where Xbox has the rights or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, fair. Um, yeah. So again, I don't know what more they'll have changed, but the sentiment is if you like the first one, you'll probably like this one too. Woohoo! And if you don't, if you've never played the first one, then this. Actually, I don't know. You can probably just get the first one for way cheap. I'm not gonna lie.
I might have lied. So it is on the PlayStation Store, but it says release date to be determined. So it might be a timed exclusive.
It's just so interesting. It's like for timed exclusives, I can see for like bigger games, not for like indie games.
Yeah, I just checked the Nintendo store. Only the first one's on there.
Huh.
Holy hell, that game came out 7 years ago, dude.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably. I don't want to say anymore. I feel like I've said too many bad things. It's probably gonna be great. I mean that genuinely.
Does he really?
I do. I like the first one a lot. I wouldn't have picked it if I didn't have some kind of hope. Like I didn't pick it to shit on it. Usually, I usually don't pick games to shit on them.
And then you have to add Mike.
I mean, it looks interesting. I like the life sims like Harvest Moon and those kinds of games. Um, Animal Crossing. So it'd be interesting just because instead of a little town I'm building up, I'm a shopkeeper. So it's kind of different from other life sims in that you're just sorry, um, yeah, and I do like the focus on battle. It looks like a really cool battle system. Just watching the trailer, like those other life sims, the battle system's kind of basic. This, it's like there's all kinds of rolling and dodging, and he's switching weapons and all kinds of puzzles and stuff. So this it looks pretty good.
It looks really cute. That's all I have to say. It's just not my type of game. But anyway, next
Yeah,
we are going to talk about a game that is rated E for everyone. I don't actually know if it is or not, but it looks like it could be. It's
I think it
Kirby
is.
Air Riders.
No, it's E10.
It's in the game. Anyway, it's a racing game. It's developed by Bandai Namco and published by Nintendo, coming out on the Switch 2 on November 20th.
Yeah, it's E10. So if your child is under 10, don't let them play it. Um, I don't need to hear complaints. So 20 years ago, when Mike was a wee lad, he played a game called Kirby Air Ride. It was a Kirby-based riding game. You had all kinds of different vehicles, and there was like battle, and it was really, really cool, really fun. I put countless amount of hours into that game. I don't know where my copy of it because it was for the GameCube, and I always wanted them to do another one. I thought it was really fun. I thought it was a good idea, and they never did. Flash forward 22 years later, we're finally getting a sequel to this game, and it looks like, as far as Switch 2 exclusives go, um, this might be one of the best games coming out on the system. They did a whole Nintendo Direct on it, showcasing a lot of the new stuff that's coming out in it, and it just looks amazing. Like, I'm a fan of Kirby. My wife's a fan of Kirby, so it's like when I do finally get a Switch 2, this is probably going to be one of the first games I pick up.
I have no interest in a racing Kirby game.
How dare you?
Oh.
I also just his Kirby Air Ride. Woo.
I thought we were
Um,
friends. I thought we were friends.
well, we are. We're friends from midnight to 6 a.m.
Oh,
That's the only time? Wow.
It's most of the time. Um, okay, so if I'm gonna continue if I'm gonna keep rehashing the same shit over and over, and slightly change it. I honestly, looking at this, okay, I've never played the original, so I can't say for sure. But there is no way that all of what I'm looking at is the same as the first one. Okay, there has to be major changes here, right, Mike?
it plays a lot like the first one.
Okay, plays a lot. That's fine. It's a racing game. You can only you can only go left and you can only go right. So but but like everything else, please tell me that there is more in this game than there was on the one in the GameCube.
If you like the GameCube,
Oh my god!
Well,
Oh. No, but this one has a parking lot, an underground parking lot, dude. Was that in the
yeah,
first one?
they both have like an open world you can explore.
Oh my god!
Because to get like the in the first one, to get like all the different gliders, you had to explore. Okay, when I say open world, it had a limited open world, and you had to explore to unlock them. So
I'm crying. I'm actually crying. Oh, all right. Well, in this one, I don't. You know what? I've run out of things to talk about.
um,
oh,
I'm
I'm,
officially
I'm just
sequel out, man.
I'm just gonna say this: if you've been playing Mario Kart and you're tired of Mario Kart and you want something new, something different, this is if you want a racing game that's going to be different than Mario Kart, but still that same kind of goofy, um, childlike fun. This is the kind of game you're going to want to be looking out for. Um, Especially if you like Kirby. This game is so much fun if you like Kirby. But it is a game that I feel with all the current racing games out there right now, this is probably one of the better looking ones to me.
I just lose interest in racing games. Like, I play them for a while, and then I'm just like, okay, I guess I'm done. So, racing games are just of no interest to me.
Oh, you suck.
No, but you do. Hey.
Like Broden.
Anyway, moving on. Last game we're going to talk about is called Constance. It's a 2D Metroidvania platformer. It's developed by BTF and published by Byte Rockers Games. It's coming out on Switch, PC, PS5, Xbox Series S and X on November 24th. So honestly, couldn't find a game to I just couldn't find a game. And
Instead
I
of
Well, no, like I couldn't find a game. So normally what
no,
I do is I go based off the title first, which is stupid, I know, but I do my books that way as well. Like I look for an interesting title.
I was.
And huh?
I'm just gonna say we're talking about sequels. This game looks like a sequel. I know it's not a sequel. It's not a sequel. But I was watching the trailer and I was like, this looks just like Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I didn't
I
want to
thought
say it.
if you didn't tell me otherwise, I would have thought this was a Hollow Knight sequel.
Okay. I have never played Hollow Knight. And the reason I had picked this game is because I liked the whole 2D hand drawn
Yeah.
she's like fighting her decaying mental health. That's like what the world stands for. So, like, I thought that was really cool because not a lot of games talk about mental health. And to have
Yeah.
something as pretty as this and she's fighting it with creativity and art, which seems like something that she's lost, I thought that was pretty neat.
Oh, don't get me wrong. This does look really fun, and the art style is really cool. Because like you said, I like the theme too. Because just watching her with her paintbrush, she's changing her world. With creativity. But it looks like Hollow Knight.
I gotta go look
just,
up
just
Hollow
the,
Knight now.
just the animations and stuff. It looks like Hollow Knight.
And
I'm watching.
even like the
I'm
art
watching.
style too.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer right now, and it's like even when they battle, like when she hits an enemy, there is like a slight like quarter of a second delay between hits. The way she's moving around the world, like, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. We'll have to see on November 24th. But yeah, it's reminds me of a Metroidvania game.
Yeah, like yeah, it definitely. So the first right off the bat, the praises. I will sing its praises. I really like the art. The art's like not only like the art itself, but also the art style. I think the art style is very cutesy. It's like it.
It reminds me of Scott Pilgrim.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Um. Yeah, it's like it's a little cartoony, not overly, but a little cartoony, and I think that's very juxtaposed to like the world itself, which I think is really interesting. I like how she wields a giant paintbrush. I like how some of the enemies like will throw paper at her. That's cool, and like some of the enemies are like little mirrors and stuff. Like a little, it's interesting. I like how it's all like hand drawn. I mean, not hand drawn, but you know
Yeah.
what I mean. Um, it looks fun. It looks like it just looks. It, it's just Hollow Knight. It's not that it's just Hollow Knight. Oh my god! Even one of the comments said we have Shovel Knight, then Hollow Knight, and now Paintbrush Knight. But it looks good. Again, it's oh god. Oh man, it's just the same thing. It's just slightly changed. Oh god.
But I guess like my whole thing uh, is it just the art style that makes like reminds you of Hollow Knight? Because I feel like that can of course
It's the gameplay that reminds me of Hollow Knight.
Yeah, I think it's the art style plus the fact that it's a Metroidvania. Like you can have an art style that looks like it, that's fine, and you can have a Metroidvania like Bloodstained. You know, Bloodstained is a different Metro, but I would never consider Bloodstained to be like Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
It's the fact that this looks cartoony and it's a Metroidvania that it's like, oh yeah, this Hollow Knight, yeah.
Well, I hope this does well.
Again, I do not like. I hope that it does well, and it probably will. Like, I mean, I guess it really for Metroidvanias, it really just depends on like the level design. I feel like that's really what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not into Metroidvanias because I'm just not good at side scrollers. I like that they have like little puzzles in this game as well. But this is the first one that like I've watched that I'm like, oh holy shit! Like I actually want to play that, even though I know I'm gonna be ass.
I feel if you didn't want to pick up Silk Song, but you want to play a Metroidvania, this, from what I'm seeing, watching this might be the game to pick up.
It's so cute.
That's
I love it.
yeah. You know what? That makes sense, especially because I know that a lot of people, especially Silk Song, um, was really difficult, right?
Yeah.
So maybe this is something that's a bit what's a nicer way to say it, like more accessible for people that didn't want to, like you said, that didn't want to play Silk Song. That makes sense. I would buy
Yeah.
that.
Because even seasoned Metrovania players would tell me Silk Song was too hard. Like I remember that was the main complaint. Too hard.
Interesting. I should
So-
sit down and finish Hollow Knight.
Oh, dude, yeah, I've played that game a few times. I love Metrovanias. I grew up Metroid, so and Castlevania, Metroidvania. But from what I'm seeing with this, it's like, yeah, if you think Silk Song is too hard, or you think Silk Song is gonna be too hard for you to really want to play it, that this is probably gonna be a good substitute. Does this come in the Switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd
Oh,
pick this
Dave,
up.
on the sheet you you wrote it was coming to Switch. But yeah, I think it's just right now it'll be the Metrovania that people need to look at for the current time. That and Silk Song. So, hopefully it'll do well.
I honestly, like, it's so cute that I hope, and this is a long shot, I hope it wins something or gets nominated at the Game Awards. Like, it's just so. I love the theme of it, and I think that's what makes me want to play it
Yeah.
so badly, is like, I just love the theme. And it being cutesy is like a plus as well. But you don't see a lot of straight up, like, this is a game about mental health. Like,
Exactly, yeah. As somebody who's mentally ill, I think we need more art that helps bring awareness. So that's another good thing about this game,
but that is, we're gonna cut it here. I had a smash or pass planned, but I think I'm going to save it until next month because I think I want to change it. So we're gonna cut it here. We're gonna come back next month with a special episode, including a smash or pass. It's gonna be great. But let's
I
get
was going to say, I was waiting to be embarrassed by saying that I would smash things that would disgust most people.
I don't think we need our audience suing us for some therapy visits. Not yet, at least. We'll save that for the holidays. But we will kick it over to some final thoughts, starting with Brennan.
I just read a quote that I think is really interesting, and maybe this is some kind of strange universal enlightenment about the idea of sequels. Here it is. Change is scary, but staying the same is scarier.
Oh,
I'm 14 and that's deep.
Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to. Maybe we have to innovate. We can't just stay the same over and over and over and make slight differences. You know, maybe that is the true growth. Maybe that's the whole point of this, right? Sometimes I feel like sometimes there's an Arctic Monkeys lyric. It's not even the Arctic Monkeys, or is it? I can't remember. Or it's either the Arctic Monkeys or Last Shadow Puppets. Either way, it's Alex Turner. But he says, "I feel like a sequel that you were kind of hoping that you want to see. I feel like a sequel that you want to see, but you were kind of hoping they would never make." That's how I feel about most sequels. I want to play them, but I kind of wish they didn't exist. Change is scary, but staying the same is scarier. I like that. I'm God. Oh God. Just pass. Next
Okay,
person.
okay,
No.
okay, Mike, go. Brendan's gonna get all philosophical on us. Words are hard right
yeah.
now. And I don't want to hear it.
Uh, play more video games.
Heard it here
I don't know.
first.
No, just yeah, just look forward. There's even more sequels on the way, so we got some remakes coming next year. So just yeah, keep playing your favorite video games and keep keep sticking to them as they go.
Well, my final
Sorry,
thought is honestly, we need to get Brennan into therapy.
I'm already in therapy.
Since Gamer Juice went under, he's had to find something new, and he sequels is his new thing. So,
I'm a therapist.
you know what that means. He's probably looking for a sequel to Gamer Juice. But anyway, moving on. Before we get him started again, I think that we're coming into the end of the year. I feel like December is definitely going to be slow. You're hitting that holiday season, so all the good games that are going to be out are out already. We're going to hit our lull period for January, and then we're going to come back next year and probably say more of the same shit. I mean, unless something new and fantastical comes out, I would say this year I was sort of. It was just another year in gaming.
It depends on when that Persona 4 remake decides to come out.
More remakes. More of the same. I mean,
Exactly.
I hope we see something new and exciting and game changing next year. Um, because I feel like nothing's had me super excited. I mean, outside of Assassin's Creed Shadows, I think I played like a half hour of that and went, oh, back to Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
Hey, what about Hello Kitty Island
I've
Adventure?
put so many hours into that game.
You
Um,
have. I was gonna bring it up.
so many hours. I have stopped playing it just because I am in the throes of grad school, but I've put a lot of hours in that game. But anyway, I hope more for next year. And I always hope more for indie games as well. So I'm excited to see what happens. And that's about that. So Kiki here next time in December for the last regular episode of the pre-review crew. We'll finish out the month and then we'll have a special episode as we always do. The pre-review crew awards, giving out our awards for best indie, best whatever game award title we come up with. So we will see you here next time. I hope you have a great morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, and catch us here next time. Goodbye.